9 things smart men should not do with women. There's an old saying, when we're young, we do everything to make others happy. But as we get older, we begin to realize that the wise often do the opposite. Welcome to today's video. We're diving into 9 things smart men should never do in their relationships with women. Marcus Aurelius, one of Rome's greatest emperors, once said that a man's biggest mistakes aren't the things he does wrong, but the things he does that he should never do in the first place. The smarter you are, the more likely you are to fall into these traps. In this short video, I'll share some key Stoic insights and valuable lessons that I and many other men had to learn the hard way. I'm sure some of you will recognize yourself in the situations we're about to discuss. Before we dive in, leave a comment if you've ever made one of these mistakes. Your story could help someone else avoid falling into the same traps. 1. Keep your past private. Let's start with protecting your past. Nietzsche once said, "Old thoughts come back to haunt us, like ghosts of past decisions." Nowhere is this more true than in relationships. Smart men often believe that opening up about their past shows emotional maturity. They share their darkest moments, failures and vulnerabilities, thinking it will deepen the connection. But here's the truth. Once you share something, you can't take it back. I've seen too many men reveal their insecurities or past relationship traumas, only to have those things thrown back in their face later. The Stoics taught us that not every truth needs to be shared, and not everything from your past needs to be put out there. Think of your past as a treasure. You wouldn't show it to just anyone. You share it with those who've earned your trust over time. What you reveal in a moment of intimacy can later be used as ammunition in a moment of anger. So what's the solution? Be selective with what you share. Share gradually, only when it serves the present. Guard your personal history like a treasure. Remember, mystery isn't just attractive, it's protective. Keep your past private, not because you're hiding something, but because you're protecting something valuable. 2. Face your fear of being alone. Let's talk about something most men won't admit, the fear of being alone. Aristotle said, "Knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom." Yet many men stay in toxic relationships simply because they fear solitude. How many times have you seen someone, or even yourself, stick with the wrong person because the thought of being alone seemed worse? It's like staying in a burning house because you're afraid of the cold outside. The Stoics taught us that the fear of emptiness can often be more damaging than the emptiness itself. I've known successful businessmen, CEOs and leaders who could command boardrooms but couldn't stand a quiet night by themselves. They'd endured drama, disrespect, and emotional turmoil just to avoid being alone. Here's the reality. When you fear being alone, you give away your power. A man who can't stand solitude will never know if he's with someone for love or out of fear. What's the solution? Learn to enjoy your own company. Find peace in solitude. Once you become comfortable with being alone, you'll naturally attract people who add value to your life, not just fill a void. Being alone doesn't mean being lonely. It means you're strong enough to wait for what you deserve instead of settling for what you're afraid to lose. 3. Manage your time wisely. Now let's talk about something that hits home for a lot of us. Wasting your most precious resource, time. Seneca, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, said, "It's not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." This couldn't be truer in relationships. Think about the hours spent overthinking text messages, waiting for calls that never came, or trying to read mixed signals. Think about weekends spent trying to please someone who isn't even sure about you. As Marcus Aurelius said, "Time is like a river. Once it passes, it's gone forever." Too many men spend their prime years chasing people who treat them as a backup plan. They put their goals on hold, cancel plans with friends, and skip the gym. or for someone who doesn't truly appreciate them. What's the solution? Prioritize your time and energy on what truly matters. Set boundaries for how much time and effort you invest in relationships. Time wasted is opportunity lost. Only invest it in people who respect it as much as you do. Stay tuned for more Stoic wisdom and lessons that will help you build stronger, more fulfilling relationships. If you found value in today's video, like and share it with others who need to hear this message. And don't forget to leave a comment. Let's learn from each other's experiences. Who wouldn't do the same for you? Here's the harsh truth. While you're making someone else a priority, they might be treating you like an option. The Stoics understood something crucial about time. It's the one thing you can never get back. You can always make more money, form new relationships, or create new opportunities, but time, once it's gone forever. So, what's the solution? Start treating your time like the valuable asset it is. Before you invest hours, days, or months into someone, ask yourself, are they investing the same in you? Are you building a meaningful connection, or just filling an emotional void? A wise man doesn't just manage his money well, he manages his time even better. In the end, when we waste time on the wrong person, we're not just giving away hours, we're giving away pieces of our life. 4. Be proud of your achievements. Here's a paradox that many smart men face. The more they achieve, the more hesitant they become to own their success, especially in relationships. Epictetus once said, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." But here's the thing. There's a big difference between being humble and hiding your accomplishments. I've seen successful men downplay their achievements, even pretend they haven't done much, just to avoid seeming arrogant or intimidating. These are men who've built companies, won awards, and reached milestones. Yet in relationships, they act like none of it matters. Why? Because they've been taught that success might scare people away. Listen carefully. If your success makes someone uncomfortable, that's their issue, not yours. As Marcus Aurelius said, the best way to avenge yourself is not to be like your enemy. Don't dim your light just because it blinds those who are used to darkness. Being proud of your achievements doesn't mean bragging. It means acknowledging the hard work, the obstacles, and the dreams you're still chasing. A strong woman doesn't want a man who hides his success. She wants someone who inspires her to reach for her own. So what's the solution? Own your journey. Share your victories, not to impress, but to inspire. The right person won't feel threatened by your success. They'll be excited to be part of your next chapter. Remember, your achievements are part of who you are. They aren't just lines on a resume. They're chapters in your story. Anyone who wants to be in your life should be ready to read the whole book, not just the easy parts. 5. Protect your mental health. Let's talk about something men rarely discuss: protecting your mental peace in relationships. The Stoics understood a crucial truth: your mind is your fortress. Yet many men allow their mental health to deteriorate just to keep someone else happy. Think about it. We go to the gym to protect our physical health and work hard to secure our financial health, but when it comes to mental health, we let someone else's drama tear it apart. As Marcus Aurelius warned, very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. I've seen brilliant men become anxious wrecks, checking their phones every 5 minutes, overthinking every conversation, and losing sleep over someone else's mood swings. They convince themselves it's just part of being in a relationship. Here's the truth. If your relationship is constantly disturbing your peace of mind, it's not love, it's emotional warfare. The Stoics taught us something profound. Your mental peace isn't negotiable. It's not something you should sacrifice for a relationship, because if you lose your peace, what exactly are you bringing to the table? A stressed, anxious, and depleted version of yourself. So what's the solution? Set boundaries. Learn to say no. Walk away from drama. Most importantly, understand this. Someone who truly cares about you will never make you choose between their happiness and your mental health. Remember, protecting your mental health isn't selfish. It's necessary. You can't pour from an empty cup, and you can't build a healthy relationship with an unhealthy mind. 6. Be true to yourself. Let's talk about something essential. The art of staying true to yourself in relationships. Albert Camus once said, "The moment you start changing who you are to please someone else is the moment you start losing yourself." How many times have you said yes when you wanted to say no? How many times have you pretended to like something you hated, agreed with things you didn't believe in, or acted differently just to keep someone else happy? The Stoics taught us that when we try to be someone we're not, we suffer twice, once from the effort and once from the failure. I've seen strong, principled men completely abandon their values, change their goals, and even distance themselves from friends and family, all to meet someone else's expectations. Remember, the moment you start changing who you are to please someone else, you stop being yourself. And when you lose yourself, you lose the very essence that made you attractive in the first place. So what's the solution? Stay true to who you are. Don't shrink to fit someone else's idea of who you should be. The right person will respect you for the man you are, not the one you're pretending to be. To fit someone else's ideal, many men become masterful actors, playing a role they think their partner wants to see. But here's the brutal truth. The moment you start performing instead of being your authentic self, you've already lost. The real irony? When you try to be what someone else wants, you actually become less attractive, not more. Authenticity has a power that no act can match. As Epictetus said, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid for staying true to what you believe. So, what's the solution? Start saying no. Start voicing your real opinions. Stand firm in your values. Yes, some people might not like it, and some might even walk away. But isn't it better to be alone for being true to who you are than to be accepted for someone you're not? The right person won't need you to change who you are. They'll encourage you to become the best version of yourself, not someone else entirely. 7. Don't sacrifice your goals for others. Let's address something that ruins too many good men, sacrificing their dreams and ambitions for a relationship. Seneca nailed it when he said, "No person has the power to have everything they want, but it is in their power not to waste their time chasing what they can't have." I've seen men put their careers on hold, abandon business opportunities, and give up their passions, all to fit into someone else's life plan. They tell themselves it's compromise, that it's what love requires. But here's the cold truth. When you abandon your path for someone else's, you're not just sacrificing goals, you're sacrificing your very essence. What's truly devastating is when these men wake up years later, filled with resentment, wondering where their dreams went. They look in the mirror and barely recognize the person staring back. As Marcus Aurelius warned, look well into yourself. There is a source of strength which will always spring up if you will always look. The real problem isn't just about missing out on opportunities, it's about losing respect, both self-respect and the respect of your partner. No one admires someone who abandons their purpose for love. They might appreciate the sacrifice at first, but eventually they'll wonder what happened to the ambitious person they were initially attracted to. So, what's the solution? Keep your dreams alive. Pursue your goals with passion. Invite your partner to join you on your journey if they want to be part of it, but never derail your path for theirs. A true partnership enhances both people's journeys. It doesn't require one person to abandon their own. The right person will support your ambitions, not compete with them. They'll be proud of your goals, not threatened by them. True love adds to your life. It doesn't subtract from your dreams. 8. Prioritize family and friends. Let's talk about a critical mistake many men make: sacrificing their core relationships for a romantic partner. Plato said, "The first and greatest victory is to conquer yourself." To be conquered by yourself is, of all things, most shameful and vile. Nowhere is this more evident than when men abandon their support systems for a relationship. I've seen it happen countless times. Men slowly disconnecting from friends, missing family events and cancelling traditions, all in the name of pleasing their partner. They think they're investing in their relationship, but what they're really doing is burning bridges they might desperately need later. As the Stoics taught us, no man is an island, but every man needs his tribe. Here's what's tragic. By the time these men realize their mistake, they often find themselves isolated. Their friends have moved on, family relationships have grown distant, and if the romantic relationship ends, they're left alone. The very support system they abandoned is the one they need most. Here's the truth. The strongest relationships are those where both partners maintain healthy connections outside the relationship. Relying on one person for all your emotional needs is setting both of you up for disappointment and putting an impossible burden on them. So, what's the solution? Maintain your friendships. Stay close to your family. Make time for the people who were there before the relationship and who will be there after, if it ends. A partner who isolates you from your support system isn't protecting your relationship. They're controlling your life. Remember, your close relationships are like a safety net. You might not need them when things are smooth, but they're invaluable when life gets tough. Don't wait until you're falling to realize you've cut off your safety net. 9. Avoid excessive dependency. Let's wrap up with perhaps the most important principle: avoiding the trap of excessive dependency. Marcus Aurelius said something profound about this. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Too many men fall into the trap of relying entirely on their partner for emotional stability, happiness, or self-worth. They give away their power, becoming overly dependent on someone else for validation. Here's the brutal truth. When you depend too much on someone else to complete you, you're setting both of you up for failure. No one can carry that weight forever, and it creates resentment over time. The Stoics understood this. True strength comes from within. It's about being whole on your own, so that your relationship enhances your life, not becomes a crutch. So, what's the solution? Build your own emotional resilience. Cultivate hobbies, friendships, and passions outside of the relationship. Strive to be a complete person, not just for your partner, but for yourself. Remember, a healthy relationship is a union of two strong individuals, not two halves trying to make a whole. When you avoid excessive dependency, you create a foundation of mutual respect, trust, and independence. Let me paint a picture I see all too often: intelligent, capable men becoming entirely dependent on a woman's approval, attention, or presence. They check their phones obsessively, shape their entire schedule around her availability, and feel anxious when they don't get an immediate response. Their mood swings with her texts, and their happiness hinges on her smile. As the Stoics would say, when you let someone else dictate your peace, you're essentially handing them control over your happiness. Here's the twist. The more you depend on someone, the less attractive you become. It's a self-fulfilling cycle. Your fear of losing them actually creates the very distance that pushes them away. Let's face it, no one wants to be someone's whole world. It's too much pressure and too much responsibility. The hard truth: when you make someone your everything, you risk becoming their nothing. You lose that confident, self-assured energy they were first drawn to, and become someone constantly seeking validation and reassurance. So what's the solution? Create a life so full and meaningful that a relationship simply enhances it rather than completing it. Have your own passions, carve out your own space, and remember that true strength comes from within, not from seeking constant approval. As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. It's not about someone else's presence or approval, but about building your own inner peace and stability. As we wrap up these 9 powerful principles from Stoic philosophy, keep in mind they're not just relationship rules, they're the foundation for maintaining your dignity, strength, and authenticity as a man. From protecting your boundaries to nurturing your independence, each principle we've discussed reflects ancient wisdom that still rings true today. Marcus Aurelius also reminds us, very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. These principles aren't about controlling or manipulating relationships. They're about becoming the strongest version of yourself, so that any relationship you enter only enhances your life rather than defining it. The Stoics understood something profound. True strength in relationships doesn't come from what we do, but from what we refuse to do. If this message resonated with you, hit that like button and share it with other men who might need to hear it. Drop a comment below and let us know which principle stood out to you. Your experience could be exactly what someone else needs to hear right now. Remember, embracing these principles doesn't make you cold. It makes you wise. In the end, the best relationships aren't built on dependency or sacrifice, but on mutual respect and individual strength. Until next time, stay strong, stay wise, and most importantly, stay true to yourself.